Hello and welcome to the Fossil Huntress podcast. Today we're in Western Canada in British Columbia, and we've headed up to Tumbler Ridge to some dinosaur trackways. So back in 2000, Mark Turner and Daniel Helm, who were about 11 or 12 at the time, were tubing down the rapids of Flatbed Creek just south of Tumbler Ridge. And as they walked along the shoreline, they looked down and they noticed a series of regular depressions that they thought were dinosaur footprints. So they came back to town and they told the adults, who were very kind and very patient, but didn't believe them, because most times when you hear this, it's not generally true. But in their case, it was entirely true. And so we had some experts out, Rich McCrae and others, to take a look at these dinosaur trackways and confirm them as those being to Tetrapodosaurus borealis. So he's related to the ankylosaurs. And when Rich made this confirmation, their discovery and the discovery of these two boys, Daniel and Mark, spurred on an infusion of tourism and research in the area. It led to the birth of the Peace Region Palaeontology Society. It led to the birth of the Dinosaur Center, which now houses a huge amount of terrestrial and marine fossils from the area. The Hudson's Hope Museum saw a huge infusion of fossils, both terrestrial and marine, and they feature ichthyosaurs and hadrosaurs, along with some lovely tracks and molds of those tracks. I headed up to Tumbler Ridge just after that dinosaur discovery. So about a year later, I was up there for a British Columbia Paleo Alliance conference. So they happen every 2 years and they're sorted between the various societies. So this particular year, Tumbler Ridge was hosting, and we had a chance to go out and walk through the various exposures. So we got to walk that original ankylosaur trackway, and we got to see some other skin impressions and really explore some of the beautiful and amazing, and for us at the time, relatively new dinosaur material from British Columbia. So one of the coolest evenings we had up in Tumbler Ridge was with an individual, Jen Becker, and some delegates from the BCPA. We went out for an impromptu, let's say not alcoholic, but infused evening along the Wolverine River. So there's these beautiful theropod, just really like as if somebody took a stamp and went stamp, 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 dinosaur footprint. So they're exactly what you want to see. And they don't show up so well in the day. So we hiked out during the day, but the differential in the sun didn't show them to very good effect. But in the evening, along the Wolverine River, so taking a bucket and getting some water and filling the trackways with water and then lighting them with a lamp, they glowed in the night. And then we had a little radio playing with some dinosaurs and scary sounds, and looked at the trackways, and it was just a wonderful evening. So it was a really very clever way to explore the site. There are at least two types of footprints at the Wolverine River track site. So there are theropods, at least 4 different sizes, and ankylosaurs. And the prints that we were originally looking at were those of the ankylosaurs, so that they're so shallow that they can be recognized by the skin impressions pressed into the tracks. Since that first find in 2000 by Mark and Daniel, we've seen a variety of dinosaur bones found in the Tumbler Ridge area, so Flatbed Creek and Wolverine. We see them from, all across the Cascapaw Formation, and they're Turonian in age. And we see meat eaters, and we see the herbivores. We see a variety of different types of dinosaurs and trackways and other associated species. If you're interested in reading more, then look into the work and publications of Rich McCrae and Lisa Buckley, because they've done a lot of work in this area, and they've fed off of a lot of earlier research and papers, but their contribution has been very significant to the Tumbler Ridge paleontology, and particularly the dinosaur resources for British Columbia.